Hello, and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for Fantasy Premier League content for the 2020-21 season. My name is Dan, and it is the deadline stream for Gameweek 34. And not so long ago, only maybe a couple of hours ago, we were dropped with some huge news. Some huge news was dropped on us. Sorry if we're a bit laggy. We're always a little bit laggy at the beginning of the stream. We dropped a huge news bomb. It was landed on us just a few hours ago. So we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk a little about teams, answer some of your questions. Just do the usual deadline stream stuff, guys. We love it. Right, first of all, let's say some hellos, and then we'll talk about something else. So, who have we got in the chat today? So, Sahil Chowdhury's here, Sky is here, Offcore, any other members that I recognise? Ethan Fernandez, hello mate, how you doing? And just loads of people. I hope you're all doing really well today, guys. I hope you're really looking forward to this game week. No lag here? Oh, excellent. Well, as long as you're not lagging, then I am happy as Larry. Well, anyway, so let's get the elephant out of the room. Get the elephant in the room out of the room, I suppose, first. Let's get the whatever that phrase is. Obviously, there is a social media boycott right now. And, all kind of everyone related to football, involved in football, are not using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, basically all social media. And there was kind of a little bit of a debate on FPL Twitter. So today, mostly yesterday, is YouTube a social media? Now, if YouTube is a social media, then obviously I shouldn't be streaming, should I? I know some people have landed on that YouTube is a social media, but to be fair, to me personally, YouTube has never been a social media. I don't think it's kind of just it's always been for the last 10 years. I absolutely love YouTube. It's just a TV alternative, and the whole conception around the social media boycott is encouraging these social media companies to do something about the racism and the bullying that's happening on these social media platforms, and people are just getting away with it. Now, in this YouTube channel, I have control to moderate it myself. I've got a wonderful team of moderators who do a fantastic job. And if people are horrible, they're banned. They're gone forever. Never coming back. That is exactly what this whole social media boycott campaign is fighting against. So it would seem like a bit of a misplaced shot to fire at YouTube. Plus, YouTube is just, I've said this on Twitter as well, it's just been a continual source of escapism, when I'm feeling down, and I have been bullied for the colour of my skin before. I've had racial abuse at me before online in real life, and YouTube has been a real fantastic place to really help me with my mental health, and it's been a great place for advice, for escapism, whatever. It's been a fantastic place to be, and if there's one or two people out there who are having a mental benefit from these streams and from these videos, then I'm not going anywhere, guys, because like I say, as far as I'm concerned, YouTube is an alternative TV, and I think perhaps I would not consider it social media, and to be honest, if we're having the debate about if is YouTube a social media or not, if that's the debate we're having, then perhaps we're missing the point of the whole thing, aren't we? Because it's not about trying to find loopholes, is it? It's about standing up against the racism and bullying that constantly happens on social media. I've got rid of Facebook long ago. I don't really use Instagram. I am very block and mute heavy on Twitter, because it should be better moderated. But there we go. We'll have a good moderation here. Don't you worry, guys. I know Moldy's in the chat. He's going to moderate very nicely today. Of course it's a form of media, but I don't think it's a form of social media. Like, how far do you take that? How far do you take it if you're considering every form of medium that you can comment on social media? TV shows these days, people will interact with the viewers and stuff like that. So would that be a social media? Well, like I say, this is not the argument we're meant to be having. We're missing the point here. Anyway, got a couple of super chats in already, so let's read those out. Phil26599 says, can't afford much. Double game week vid worth every penny and more. Oh, right, you're thanking me for the video yesterday. Well, no problem, and thank you so much for that very generous donation. It's perfect. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. George Vincent says, hope you're doing great, Dan. I am. Looking forward to this game week. So am I, man. So am I. And I think we start off. I know. Well, I say let's start off. We've been talking for 5 minutes, haven't we? Oh, we've got another one here. Jack Haywood says free hit 35. So for this week, 36 or Pereira West Bromwich Albion. Interesting one. Okay, we'll talk about that now. So we'll talk about the schedule, and then Jack, if you're all right to stay around for a little bit, I'll try and answer your question, and we'll talk a little bit about some chip strategies that we could potentially go for, and hopefully that helps you. And because I know a few people do still have a free hit, a few people maybe bench boost, triple captain, wildcards. That's fine. Let's see if we can have you covered, because we know for sure what the fixture schedule is. So let's lead with that. So, guys, you might recognise the image you see on your screen right now in front of you over, I've got to get this right, there. Yes, because it's all flipped for me, so I can never tell which direction I'm going to be facing. So that graphic there, you might recognise from my video yesterday, where we basically predicted what the fixtures were going to be like. Thank you very much for the super chat, Clive Powell. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, we predicted where the fixtures were going to end up, and guess what, guys? Nailed it. We nailed it. I think Ben Crellin nailed it as well. You might have seen Ben Crellin's fixture thing instead. He's obviously the big expert authority, but I thought this time I'd have a crack at it myself, and we did okay. We did okay. Everything as you see on screen, this is what the schedule is going to look like, guys. So we've got a few double game weeks. The deadlines, everything's shifted around a little bit, and this is all confirmed. It's updated on the FPL website. Guys, this is it. This is the situation. Now, I will switch graphics to this one, because I think this one's a little bit easier to understand when we're talking about planning maybe what players we want to get, what chips we're going to use. And I think you can see here very clearly we've got some doublers and we've got some blankers. Arsenal blanking in 36, Chelsea blanking in 36, Leicester blanking, Manchester United blanking. So those are really the key areas we want to be looking at, I think. And of course the doubles is something that we'll be well aware of. I think organically most of us will already have maybe 6 or 7 doubling players already. Maybe, I don't know, maybe more 5 or 6 or something like that. I'm going to do the super chats as we talk through this. So Siddharth Patil says, hi Dan, I've got Aspi and Alonso on my squad. Want to bring in Castagna. Who to sell? And is it worth doing for a -4 now or do it next game week? That's an interesting one. I would arguably just keep Azpilicueta and Alonso in your squad. They're playing against Fulham. There's a very good chance that both of them start. You're probably going to get a clean sheet. And with Alonso, very good chance of a goal contribution as well. So, Siddharth, I would genuinely, for the game against Fulham, just keep Azpilicueta and Alonso. I think you're okay there. Don't worry too much. So, right, let's talk about game week 35 and 36, because this is where we should be zoning in our attention. Hopefully, guys, you haven't used to transfer yet, because I think it is going to be really key to try and save a transfer if you can. And what we want to be doing, and this is for those of you without any chips, to be going into game week 36 with 2 free transfers. That is a very basic but very effective strategy you can use, because that way you can, when you're going into game week 36, you can take out, for example, 2 Manchester United players or a Manchester United and a Leicester player. You can take them out and replace them with players who actually play in Game Week 36. That way, for 2 players, you've got the full benefit of the Game Week 35 double, and the 2 players that you're replacing them with don't blank in Game Week 36. So really, really nice transition there. Even consider taking a -4, you can do 3, something like that. That could work, right? That's not bad. We could, if you haven't got chips, we could consider looking at some Everton players. Now, for example, I'm looking at Michael Keane, because when Michael Keane is fit, he plays every game for Everton. Assuming he's ready by game week 35, lovely double. West Ham United and Aston Villa. Double game week there for Michael Keane. And then game week 36, he's got a fixture against Sheffield United. So not only is it a nice double, but for game week 36, very nice fixture, and he actually plays. Love it. Absolutely love it. FPL Jab says, should I take out one of Watkins or Vardy for Kane? I think you really should make sure you have Kane for this game. I think that is pretty key. You want to captain him as well, ideally. I think Do you take out Vardy, though? It's difficult because Southampton is a good fixture. And then you've got the double, haven't you? So maybe Watkins would maybe be the more sensible idea, because over the next 3 game weeks, I would say Kane outscores Watkins by a significant amount. So if you can afford to do Watkins straight to Kane, yeah, absolutely go for that. But it's really difficult. But these double game weeks and blank game weeks have thrown everything, haven't they? Blue 2 Isle says Sigurdsson in for Jota. Nice for game week 35 and 36. The only issue with Sigurdsson is I don't know if he's going to be playing both of those Everton fixtures, because he doesn't play every game. I think out of the remaining fixtures, of which they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many does Sigurdsson start? 4 maybe? Which 4 are they going to be? If you know, it's difficult. So I'm not 100%. Jota, on the other hand, nice throughout. I would argue just keep Jota, save your transfer, and then reassess in a week's time. Maybe take out, maybe actually save your transfer for game week 36. And I think that this is going to be a recurring theme. Try and go to the game week 36. You should have 2 free transfers by the time you're planning for game week 36, basically. So after the game week 35 deadline, you should have 2 free transfers ready to go. I think that is going to be a key. So if you're in doubt, you're not quite sure whether to make a transfer or not, probably the best idea is to not. Sahil says Sigurdsson started last 3 matches. Yeah, I know, but that's not really enough data for me to guarantee that he's going to start every game. I do think that Sigurdsson could possibly start in one of the double games and then maybe come off the bench for the others, which wouldn't be the end of the world. But he's not. I definitely would not go in expecting that he's going to play every single game. I really would not expect that. If you want to take that risk and you think he will, go for it. But I'm kind of feeling, if you're not sure about transfer, maybe save it, because the transition between game week 35 and game week 36, you are going to want to be able to use as many transfers as you possibly can, right? Maverick says, hey Dan, looking forward to a great stream as always. Have 2 free transfers. Does going Bruno and Bamford to Greenwood and Vardy till the double game week make sense? No, I would actually keep Bruno and Bamford, to be honest. Bruno's got the double game week. Vardy, yes, he has a double game week, but I wouldn't want him anyway. Iheanacho's the guy. Like I said before, if they're the same price, if Iheanacho and Vardy are the same price, you go for Iheanacho every time. So Kelechi's the guy. I don't know about Jamie Vardy. He doesn't seem quite as on it, and I don't think he's worth the money. I would rather have Kane for sure. If you're doing Bruno and Bamford to Greenwood and Kane, for example, there's much more argument to do that one. But Vardy, even though he has got the double game week, there is also the FA Cup final for Vardy, so there is going to be it's going to be a bit of a difficult one. Is his minutes going to be managed a little bit, even if he's coming off at 60, 70 minutes? That's kind of, with strikers, it's all about getting the goals, and if you have 20 minutes less to get a goal, it's not ideal. How old is Jamie Vardy now? He must be 34. And he's got to play FA Cup final, double game week. Crazy. 4 fixtures it'd be 5 fixtures in the space of 2 weeks, really, wouldn't it? It's a lot. It really is a lot. Any player's minutes is going to get managed, aren't they? I do expect some serious rotation from Leicester, which is a little bit worrying, but, we'll leave that there. So, no, yeah, not sure. Again, it's one of those situations where if you're not 100% sure, maybe not. I do prefer Greenwood to Bruno just about, but then last night's performance by Bruno kind of reminded us all that actually he can do it, can't he? He can still do it. But yeah, still not a massive fan of Jamie Vardy. I have sort of expressed this before. I think if you're going for a Leicester attacker, just stick with Iheanacho and that's your lot. Vardy's a lot of money and he's not in form, is he, or anything like that. We've got a couple of super chats here again. SCCR man 188 says start Leno or Martinez this week. I would start Leno. I know that's maybe a little bit worrying, because of Arsenal, but I would still start Leno. I do think Aston Villa are showing some of the worst defensive form all season, to be honest. And although Arsenal aren't exactly lighting the world on fire with their defensive abilities, they do have this game against Newcastle, and I do believe they are still a better defence than Aston Villa right this very second. Aston Villa are kind of on a downward trajectory, and Arsenal they're still about there, and Arsenal also have the better fixture as well. Everton are doing quite well, remember. They're a good team. Gold Piece Prosperity says, cheers for the phenomenal graphics. You're welcome, my friend. No problem at all. Wood of Burnley or Wilson of Newcastle for the remaining season? Free hitting in 36. Okay. Well, I mean, I would go for Wood just because his underlying stats are just fantastic. If you look at Newcastle's fixtures, Arsenal not great, Leicester not good at all, Man City really not good, Sheffield United and Fulham okay at the end of the season, but it's kind of like Fulham might be scrapping for their lives in game week 38, so that's arguably not even a good fixture. So I would really be touching Newcastle if I'm honest. Chris Wood on the other hand is in fantastic form, amazing form. He's doing brilliantly, and I think it's not just he scored 3 goals last week. For weeks and weeks and weeks, he is taking in terms of his expected goals, the shots he's taking, the shots in the box he's taking, his penalty box touches. He's kind of like, he goes Kane, Kelechi Iheanacho, and then it's Chris Wood. So he's literally the 3rd best striker in the game right now. And yet he's so cheap, he's so lowly owned. Go for him. Absolutely. Go for him, man. Right, let's talk quickly about chip strategies, because I know a few of you will have that on your mind, and then we'll have a look at some of your other questions of the week. So we'll start off with triple captain and bench boost, because I think they're quite easy. Triple captain, I think the most sensible thing to do is just play it on game week 35. Play a triple captain on game week 35, sorted. Play it on either Kelechi Iheanacho. You could play it on Bruno Fernandes if you want to go that way. If you want to go for Greenwood, someone like that, you could go for Greenwood maybe. Maybe a little bit more risky, that one. But the point is, pick one of the teams that plays twice. Even Chelsea, maybe. I know the fixture's worse, but it's better than a single game week. Pick a player who you want to captain in game week 35. Same as you would do any other game week. Pick your captain as normal. But this week, press the triple captain button. Done. Okay, sorted. Right. Bench boost. Bench boost is a little bit more flexible, I think. I don't think you have to play it in the double game week necessarily. I don't think it's an absolute must have, a must do. You can kind of play it when you like. So it's hard to work out in the future when your bench is going to be at its strongest. But basically, you kind of got to work out at what point is your bench going to be the most stacked, the most packed for the rest of the season, or what game week is that going to happen? When you have a serious selection dilemma, I really don't know who I'm going to play. Who am I going to bench? Who am I going to play? I've got so many good players. That is the time to bench boost, and I don't think you should make it any more complicated than that, because a double game week isn't necessarily the best. Particularly if your bench is going to be kind of single game week players anyway. You may as well save it for any other game week. It doesn't matter. So just pick a game week where your bench looks the strongest. If you get to a position where you're thinking, oh my God, I don't know who to play, I don't know who to bench, that's probably a good sign that you should bench boost. We'll keep that nice and simple. Free hits where it gets things a little bit more complicated. With a free hit, you have 2 choices, and it depends where your team is. If you have a lot of players who have double game weeks in 35 already, then that's probably a sign that you don't need to free hit in game week 35. And it's probably a sign that you're going to need to free hit in game week 36. So if you've got a lot of Manchester United players, a lot of Chelsea players, a lot of Leicester players already, then free hit in game week 36. Easy, do it. And for game week 35, bring in some more doubling players. You've got a free pass in game week 36, so just go get even more of doubling players for game week 35. Why not? You get a free hit anyway the following week, and it will sort out that problem anyway, won't it? FPL Jabs, I have seen your super chat. I am going to get to it in a second. I just want to finish off talking about the free hit. On the contrary, if you actually find that, I've only got maybe 4 or 5, even maybe 6. If you only got 5 or 6 players who have a double game week in game week 35, and you find that actually I don't have many Manchester United players. I've only got one. I've only got one Leicester player. I've only got one Chelsea player. If you've only got a few players in game week 36, a few players that blank in game week 36, then what you should do is right now with your transfer, for your game week 34 transfer, use it to bring in another player who plays in game week 36 and get rid of someone who blanks in game week 36, and instead use your free hit in game week 35 and maximise the players that you have that double. You could do a full 11. You could do a full team of 11 players, all who have double game weeks. That would be amazing. That's a great use of a free hit. Definitely do that. So it depends where your team is at. And that's why there's no one rule for everyone. So have a look at your team. Where are you looking the most comfortable? Are you looking really comfortable in game week 35, or are you looking really comfortable in game week 36? And whichever it is, just go full commitment to the game week you are most comfortable with your free transfers, and the game that you're not so comfortable with, that game week you use your free hit. FPL Jabs here says Vardy and Jota out for Kane and one of Armstrong / El Ghazi. One of my friends transferred in Armstrong earlier, and he got laughed out of the group chat. Because that's a ridiculous Armstrong. I know he's got a few FPL returns, but his underlying stats are terrible. I was looking at some players with some better underlying stats than Armstrong that I could get as a midfielder for 5.5 million. And some of the names that are coming up were like Thomas Partey, Højbjerg, Longstaff, Fred at Manchester United. So, no, I would not be looking at Armstrong personally. Pereira maybe, though, for 5.5 million. Not bad. So yeah, you can maybe do Vardy and Jota out for Kane and Pereira. That could be a touch, maybe, but it's kind of up to you. I still am a fan of, if you are unsure, holding the transfers. You know. Anyway, we've got one final chip that I haven't spoken about, the wild card. And guys, if you still have the wild card left, I am incredibly jealous of your patience, because I couldn't do it. My wildcard popped in game week 31. It's gone. I wish I still had one. We all still wish we had chips. We're jealous of you guys. But if you do have a wildcard, there's another tactic. Well, no, really, there's only one tactic. Technically, there's two, but there's only one that I'd really take seriously. The tactic is to load up on players who double on game week 35 and then wild card in game week 36, reset your team in game week 36, minimise Manchester United players, minimise Chelsea players. You're probably not going to want Chelsea players for the final two game weeks anyway. You're probably not going to want Arsenal players. You know, you can probably go for the final two Manchester United games. You could probably live with only one or two of them anyway. Leicester players, you don't need for the final two game weeks anyway. So game week 36, you can just ditch all your Leicester, all your Manchester United, all your Chelsea, maybe keep one or two around. Get rid of them all. Start again. So let's start targeting some other teams. Let's start targeting Leeds. Let's start targeting some players from... Who else has got some good fixtures? West Ham have some good last two fixtures, don't they? You can start mixing it up like that. Spurs, maybe. You want to go for Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, stuff like that. And you can really target those final three game weeks, you know? And that could be really nice. Kamran Hussein says no chip for 36. Oh, I don't have any. Any suggestions? Like I say, and show team, please. Yeah, I'll show you my team in a second. I just wanted to talk about this. I wanted to spend the first half of the stream talking about the double game weeks, because I know that's like fresh on a lot of people's mind. I know because it's only been announced, so I did want to hopefully help you guys out a little bit with that. But yes, I will show my team in a second. But no chips for game week 36. As I keep saying, I think the key is to save your game week 35 transfer or save your game week 34 transfer, but save a transfer so you can use 2 free transfers ahead of game week 36 and make that transition, 2 blanking players out for 2 playing players. Maximise the players you have in game week 35 who double, minimise the players you have who blank in game week 36. And there's a lot of crossover there, so you are going to need your transfer. So save transfers, I think it's the simplest strategy, right? If you are going to use any transfers, and if you haven't used your game week 34 transfer yet, you've got 3 transfers. You want to save 2 and use one other. The one other you could use to bring in an Everton player, an Aston Villa player, perhaps. That way you get the double and they don't blank the week after. So if you haven't used your Game Week 34 transfer yet, you do have that option as well. That's what I'm doing anyway. I'm going to save the transfer this game week. Game Week 35, I'm going to bring in Michael Keane. And then Game Week 36, I'll have 2 transfers, and I'll probably remove Timothy Castagna, maybe Kelechi Iheanacho, maybe Marcus Rashford as well. We'll see. That's kind of my thinking right now. Couple of super chats. Darius Palmer says Pereira or Jota for this game week, and Rudiger out next game week. Well, Rudiger, I don't know how bad his injury is. I know it's. I don't know if it's serious or not. So I don't want to tell you to get rid of Rudiger next game week, but Rudiger's certainly not going to be playing this game week. And by the way, guys, if you are looking for a replacement and you can afford Stuart Dallas, I would say that he is one of the players I'll be targeting, along with Michael Keane, just for the double in 35 and the good fixture against Sheffield United in 36. But remember, Everton have Man City in game week 38, so you're not going to want Michael Keane for game week 38. But it's a nice little short-term option, right? Pereira or Jota for this game week? I mean, I look at Pereira for this game week, and I do prefer that to Jota. For this game week in particular, yeah, I would prefer Pereira. So hopefully that answers your question, Darius. Thank you very much for the super chat. Clifford Osas says, Kane triple captain versus Sheffield United. I've got free hit and bench boost as well. Oh my God. So Clifford over here, thank you very much for the super chat, by the way, Clifford. He's got all of his chips. Incredible. Incredible. The scenes. No, that's amazing, mate. You're going to have some huge gains. So, okay, in that case, depending on what your team looks like, free hit's the first one you should think about. So think about your free hit first. Are you playing it in game week 35 or game week 36? If you're playing for your free hit in game week 35, then yes, triple captain in game week 34, Kane against Sheffield United. Yeah, go for it. If you're actually going to free hit in game week 36, then actually maybe you should use your triple captain in game week 35. As for your bench boost, you don't really have many choices with that. Just use it as and when. Just use it when your bench looks its best. In fact, maybe the bench boost should actually take precedent over the triple captain, to be fair. So free hit, lock that in first. When you're going to use that, then have a look. When am I going to use my bench boost? When is my bench going to be at its peak for the rest of the season? And you can strengthen your bench. If you need a couple of weeks to strengthen your bench, no problem. If you're benching blanking players, for example, you might want to strengthen your bench anyway. In which case, game week 37 might be a nice game week to bench boost. Game week 38 maybe as well. But yeah, then finally, just use a triple captain when you feel most confident. That's going to be a fun one. Maybe bang it on game week 38 just for the fun, eh? It's always a fun one. SCC Rman188 says free hit game week 35. Would you get Kane and or Salah, or try and go all out on the doubles and Guaita keeper? I think I would go all out on the doubles, you know. But at the same time, I already have Kane, I already have Salah, so it's difficult for me to say what I'd do. But knowing the little I do about your situation, I would want Kane for this game week. I would want Salah for the rest of the season. So if you've still got your free hit, then, like you've suggested, get Kane, get Salah for the rest of the season. Those guys don't have doubles, but they're really good picks for the rest of the season. And free hit game week 35, maximise the doubling players using your free hit. And that would be attacking. That would be going all in on the doubles. Free hitting is the ultimate going all in on the doubles. So absolutely, go for that. Guaita keeper, not so sure. Crystal Palace, nothing to play for. It looks good for the double game week. If you're free hitting, I guess you could take a punt on him. But as a long-term option, I would not be looking at Guaita. Crystal Palace, not a great defence anyway. So even with the decent fixtures, I would not be 100% confident, even on a double game week. You know, maybe a Pickford for the double could possibly be an option instead. I probably wouldn't go near a Manchester United goalkeeper just in case there's a bit of rotation there. Yeah, even like Leno, maybe I would consider at Arsenal. Not 100% sure on that. But Guaita is a consideration if you're on a free hit, but otherwise I would not be touching him, to be honest. And there we go. Any more super chats, or have I finally caught up? I think I've finally caught up, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I've missed a super chat. One of the mods will have to tell me, I think. But I think I've covered them all. And thank you so much, guys, for all of your generosity with the super chats. I really do appreciate that. I'm just going to sort out, get my team on screen so I can show you how I'm going to set up. I think we've spoken enough. Well, I think we looked at the graphic for the blank and double game weeks just about enough. And I'm sure I see in the chat a few of you guys are keen to see my team. So let's go there. I'm just sorting it out in the background as we speak. Because things have changed. I put this on Twitter. I put this on Instagram as well. I have changed my team. Well, my plan, I guess, for this game week. It's not quite the same as I said I was going to do in my team selection video, you know. Things are different. Times they are changing. I think a lot of that is definitely to do with the double game week and blank game week announcements. I kind of just want to save more transfers, you know. So, right. Are we on screen now? Here we are. Okay, right. Let's show this to you guys. There we go. Beautiful. So. Oh, we've got another super chat. Oh, guys, you're so generous today. You're so nice to me. Oh, hang on. Oh, there it is. Saka for Rafinha. Oh, no, I don't think so. Then Trent Alexander-Arnold and Bamford for Vardy. No, keep Trent Alexander-Arnold. Keep Bamford. Yeah, I'll definitely keep them. And I don't think I would go for Rafinha. If I'm looking for a Rafinha replacement, then I'm looking at Matheus Pereira. I really would not be thinking about going for Saka. His underlying stats are just terrible. There's rotation in this Arsenal team because Arsenal are only really thinking about Europa League right now. I would not be touching Saka if I'm honest. I think by the looks of things, you're making transfers a little bit for the sake of it, George, and you don't need to. It sounds like your team's fine. Rafinha is going to be a good pick in 2 game weeks time. Rafinha is going to be one of the best players to have. Trent Alexander-Arnold, although he's not great this game week, for the rest of the season, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best defender you can have in your team, so you definitely want him in the long term. Bamford Vardy, again, Bamford, really nice final 3 fixtures, so he's going to be a player that you want. So, to conclude, nah, man, I think you're okay. It sounds like you're in a good position to start saving some of those transfers and start capitalising on these double game weeks, you know? It's good news, man. It's good news. Qatari1999. A regular. How you doing, Qatari? I hope you're all well, mate. Hey, Dan. I have 1 free transfers and I want to get rid of Rudiger, but I also have Bruno and Greenwood. Should I keep both considering I have 3 Liverpool players as well, or should I take a hit? Honestly, with your Manchester United players, because of this double game week next week, you want your Manchester United players. You don't want to take them out. I know it's not ideal this game week, and you never know how things are going to turn out. It could be like a 2-2 or a 3-3 thriller. You know, or Manchester United could go out and batter them, and then it's great that you've got Bruno and Greenwood, you know. You may have 3 Liverpool players as well. You know, if you've got Jota, I don't think there's any harm in benching Jota, for example, this game week. That's what I'm doing. So I don't think you should worry too much about that. It's one week only, isn't it? But you've said there, should I get you've got 1 free transfer, you want to get rid of Rudiger? Yeah. Michael Keane for a short-term option, Stuart Dallas for a long-term option. That's your choices, basically. Michael Keane over the double game week and over the game week after, so game week 36. Michael Keane, fantastic. Long-term, you know, final, well, even this game week as well, they've got Brighton. Leeds have got Brighton. Dallas is going to be a great option. Okay, right, okay. I've misunderstood what you've said there, haven't I? Right, sorry, George. You bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Bamford and take out Vardy. Right, got you. That's kind of a bit of a coin toss situation. To be honest, I would not be going for Bamford. I would be going for Chris Wood. If I had an option of going right now, am I going for Bamford or Chris Wood? I'm going for Chris Wood. It's more of a differential. He's cheaper. His underlying stats are fantastic, and his fixtures are arguably maybe not quite as good, but pretty good. You know? So yeah, I would think about Chris Wood instead. On the other hand, as much as I am not backing Vardy at the moment, he does have a double game week. I don't know. Not sure. But yeah, I would from what you've said now, I would definitely consider it. But bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you need him this game week? Could you do this next game week maybe? I don't know. Because Trent Alexander-Arnold is not exactly set for an amazing game week this week, is he? Oh wow, another super chat from Jonathan Cruz. Thank you so much, man. You guys are being so generous today. I really, really do appreciate it. I've not got a message there, Jonathan, though. I don't know if you meant to type in a message or not. If you did try and type in a message and accidentally didn't or something like that, then I'll keep an eye out for a message if you want to put it in the chat. Mods, if you can look out for Jonathan Cruz's message, I would really appreciate that. We can try. Oh, there you go. He's putting a message there. Oh, you're a member as well, Jonathan. Nice one, man. Love you, mate. Oh, you're a legend, Jonathan. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. There you go. As FPL Giant has correctly said, if you can smash the like button, guys, I would really appreciate that. If you are new around here as well, please do consider subscribing. Plenty of FPL content pretty much every day. Other than the weekends, you know, Monday through Friday, FPL content every day. So if you are loving FPL stuff, hopefully I can hook you up. So, yeah, please do subscribe. Notifications on if you fancy it as well. Mads Vesterby says, how likely is Brighton to keep a clean sheet? Kind of like, no, I wouldn't say a high chance, but there is a chance, you know. I wouldn't say there's a high chance just because of the opposition, but Rafinha being out does make a big difference for Leeds. I'm telling you that. There's far less chances created. But maybe, I don't know. Maverick says, should I go Jota to Greenwood? I don't, not this game week, no. I don't think you should do that this game week. The reason being is, well, mostly because I don't think either of them are guaranteed to have a good game week, you know? There would be people also saying, should I go Greenwood to Jota? So the fact that you're saying, should I go Jota to Greenwood, is probably suggesting to me, maybe there's not that much in it, you know? Maybe they're about even. Both of them have a tough game week. It's difficult to say who is going to be the better one. I mean, if I'm honest, I would prefer Greenwood, but not enough on this particular game week that would make me swap Jota out for Greenwood. I think in general, it's slightly sideways, you know. Shakalaka Meka Leka, which is, by the way, an amazing username, and I want to say that every single day. Shakalaka Meka Leka. That's amazing. Am I crazy if I bench Bruno, Bamford / Pereira cut? Well, as in you're playing Bamford and Pereira, and you're benching Bruno. And who should? Well, yeah. I mean, you're halfway there. I think. I think if I'm honest, you play Bruno ahead of Bamford. I'm hoping that there's probably another player in your team that you would want to bench. It depends on the strength of your team, though. But Bruno, I would say, you know, the fact that he's a premium, the fact that he's on penalties, the fact that he had such a fantastic performance last night, I really, in Europe, I really don't think you should bench Bruno. I think it is crazy to bench Bruno. And although I'm not a massive fan of Bruno as an FPL asset right now, I can't really argue with his performance last night. I can't really argue with the fact he's on penalties. I can't argue with the fact that he's 10.5 million and, you know, a premium option. He's a premium option for a reason. And I may not think he's worth 11 million or 11.5 million, whatever he is right now. I may not think he's worth 11 million. But that doesn't mean I think he's worse than 6 million players, 5.5 million players, you know, 7 million players. He's still quality. I just, you know, if Bruno is 9 million, for example, he's in my team every day of the week, you know? Like he was last season. He was like 8.5, 9 million last season. Easy buy, right? It's just the fact that he's 11.5 million, I wouldn't think he's worth it. So I wouldn't bench him for those cheaper players. He is expensive for a reason. But he's, you know, maybe overpriced a little bit based on his current performances in the Premier League. And it's only current performances, to be fair, because he's had a cracking season. But in general, you still play him. Hopefully that answers your question, Shakalaka Mekaleka. What a fantastic username, by the way, guys. Round of applause for that. Wonderful. Rahul, thank you very much for joining as a member of the channel. Of course, guys, if any of you do want to join as a channel member, all you need to do is press the join button or click the link at the top of the description, and you can join as a member of the channel. You get access to loads of emojis that you can use. I can see your names a little bit better in the chat, so it helps me answer your questions a little bit more easily. Although it is kind of hard because we're quite busy today. But yeah, generally speaking, I'll get to your questions much easier if I can see your name with the members badge next to it. And it costs 99p, you know, 0.99 pounds. And that's literally the cheapest I can set it. I just set it to the cheapest possible because although it's nice to get a little bit of help income-wise, it was never about that. I mostly just wanted to give you access to amazing emojis that I've made. And the custom emojis for this channel, I think, are pretty fire. I think they're pretty good. We've got like a Lingard emoji. We've got Iheanacho emoji now. We've got Harry Kane emoji. We've got Nathan Ferguson emoji. Name another YouTube channel that has a Nathan Ferguson emoji. Right. With that said, there you go. Moldy, as always, is showing off those emojis. Of course, there's PS and Hull City secure promotion. Oh, nice one, man. You must be chuffed. You must be really happy, man. Congratulations. Congratulations. We're talking a little bit more about Hull City then, I imagine, in the not-so-distant future, depending on how they get on. Quality. Leon says, when are you making FPL Mate merch? That will be in the summer. We're gonna start that in the summer. I don't know if it will be merch. It might be just some cool designs. I don't know. I'm not really into just plastering my name all over a t-shirt. I don't think that's a very good product, to be honest. I don't know who would be interested in that. But yeah, we'll have some merch, guys. We'll sort something out. I'll gather your ideas and stuff as well, and we'll work on it together. You know, that'd be a good thing to do. So like a community channel, really, at the end of the day, isn't it? I'm just hosting it. There was another super chat, but I have lost it. But hopefully I can find it in 1 second. It's going to pop up on my screen in a second. Unless I get it on my phone. No, let's get it up early on my phone. See, there's a lot of lag over here, guys. Well, on my end, anyway. Don't worry, I'll get a better computer soon. One day I'll get a PC and we'll all be happy. Multi says, buy Iheanacho, buy Iheanacho, buy Iheanacho, buy Iheanacho. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Right, let's have a look what that super chat was, because it's disappeared. That was a nice... Oh, Albus89. Thank you very much, Albus. I really appreciate that. Castagna for Rudiger. Worth a hit. Otherwise, we'll have to play both Cody and Jota. Alternatively, Greenwood for Rafinha for a hit. Or do nothing. Greenwood for Rafinha for a hit, I probably wouldn't do, because it does seem like you do have a little bit of cover on your bench, which is a good thing, by the way, dude. You know, it's always nice to have a little bit of cover on your bench, especially right now. There's so many good cheap options that you can have a decent amount of cover on your bench without worrying too much. There's a lot of value around, you know. A Castagna for Rudiger worth a hit. I mean, maybe. We've got the double game week. You've got an okay fixture this week as well. I feel like with Castagna, and he has been fantastic, I feel like by this point, if you're buying Castagna now, you've missed probably... Well, you've probably missed half the party at least. You know, you are coming in late. So maybe it start... And in my opinion, I don't really like coming into the party of a player a little bit late. I'd rather try and figure out where the next party is going to be. You know? And I would say... Albus... Michael Keane, like I keep mentioning, he's going to be a nice little party. Double game week and then Sheffield United. Nice double game week. Nice game week against Sheffield United in game week 36. Lovely. Really nice opportunity for points there. So maybe go for him. And then you've got Stuart Dallas if you want to think long term. Brighton this game week. Very nice. Then the final three fixtures of the game of the year. Can't remember who they are now. But they're nice ones for Leeds. They've got a really strong finish to the season. So... yeah, go for it. Freemo wants to buy an FPL, mate. Wig, we'll sort you out. So, yeah, that's what I would say. I understand wanting to transfer out Rudiger even for a -4. because you're talking about not playing a player. You could just play Cody and Jota, but I understand that you wouldn't want to. Rafinha is a difficult one because he's not going to be fit. I don't know. There's argument to say just play Cody and Jota. There's argument to say do Rudiger to Keane or Dallas, because at least then you're thinking longer term and it's not just for 1 week, you know. Eric Peterson says Son captain to chase mini league, start Cavani or Trent. No, I would keep it simple this week and captain Kane personally, because Son's form hasn't been great and he could match Kane, but I wouldn't be confident about it. I don't know. Start Cavani or Trent this game week. I would start Trent just because I don't think Cavani's going to start. Really doubt he will start, and he could come off the bench and do some damage. But if Manchester United are winning, and I think they could win, I don't think Cavani will even really need to come on, and he won't need to come on very early at the very least. What else have we got here? Matthew Vaughan says, "Hey mate, play 2 of Trossard, Shaw, Fofana, or Cody." All right, Matthew, let's give this one a go. Play 2. So Trossard plays against Leeds. Don't really fancy that. Shaw, I quite like. Fofana. All right, I think I would go for Shaw and Fofana out of those 4, mate. Yeah, go for that. And thank you very much for the super chat as well, dude. Qatari again says Llorente or Alioski for Dallas. Can't afford Dallas. Oh no, gutting, man. That's gutting. Alioski is a risky one. In fact, Alioski has actually had a few shots recently, which is, I don't know, is that a sign of points to come? And he is seemingly pretty nailed at the moment as well. Dallas is kind of playing exclusively in midfield now, which means Alioski is exclusively playing at left back. So there's argument for Alioski. I think there's potential for nice returns for Alioski, but at the same time, Alioski, occasional yellow cards, occasional, getting benched, well, not getting benched, getting substituted off. Llorente, I think, has played really well recently. I have enjoyed him. But it's a difficult one. That's really difficult, Llorente versus Alioski. I think Alioski has the highest ceiling, but it's probably slightly riskier. Me personally, I'd probably go Alioski, just because I like a little bit of a risk. So it's up to you, man. But all right, let's not sit on the fence here. Go for Alioski, Qatari, man. Right, Conrad Lamb says, would you swap Jota for Pereira for this week? Maybe. If I'm making transfers right now, I'm pretty much exclusively thinking about the double game week. So, really, who I'd want to bring in is a player with a double game week, and Pereira doesn't have a double game week, Pereira could have a good score this game week, though. He could be decent. It's a good cheap option, but for Jota, who else? Well, all right, let's we've had a look at my team now. We'll bring it back up in a second. But let's bring this, let's bring this one back up. Let's have a look at some fixtures. Who for 7 million, Jota's about 7.1 million, isn't he? Who could you bring in? Well, double game week speaker, you could go for Zaha if you fancy a really risk, although I do think Zaha might be a bit of a trap. But yeah, you can go for Zaha for Jota if you want to take Jota out. I mean, to be fair, there's an argument to say just keep Jota. It's one bad game week and the rest of them look blinding. They look amazing. In fact, Conrad, I'm going back. I would honestly say just keep Jota. I don't think that's worth the transfer. Someone says is Lingard fit, and I have seen the horrible rumour that Lingard is not fit. The rumour is completely false. Lingard is absolutely fine. He's fit. He's healthy. He is playing. Don't worry about Lingard. Guys, Lingard is the legend of the channel, There's another super chat, isn't there? Can I find it? Yes. Maverick says start Lowton or Conser. Maverick, man, you've got so many questions, but I do appreciate the super chats. I really appreciate that, dude. Start Lowton or Conser. So, Lowton plays against West Ham. Conser plays against Everton. Who do I fancy more to get a clean sheet out of those two? Because really, with both Lowton and Conser, you are just looking at clean sheets. Who is more likely to keep a clean sheet? Burnley against West Ham or Aston Villa against Everton? I would probably say Aston Villa against Everton, to be honest, because at least, I don't know. West Ham are in good form, good scoring form as well. And although Everton are in good form, they're not scoring a lot of goals. So I would go for Konsa. But if I'm completely honest, Lowton and Konsa, you're probably looking at a 2-pointer either way. If I'm honest. Off-court correctly pointing with some green arrows around Lingard. Because he's not injured. He's a legend. He's an absolute hero. Hod says, will Keane start? Yeah, guys, I've spoken a lot about Keane. Obviously, Michael Keane has missed a couple of games recently. It's just through injury. He's still carrying a little bit of a knock. I can't tell you for sure if he's going to play this weekend. But as of next weekend, he's going to be, it's a fantastic double game week. A good game against Sheffield United after. I would say that with Keane as well, if he starts, he starts. He's not going to come off the bench. So, as long as you've got good bench cover, there's no real issue with buying Keane now. Mads Vesterby says, Coleman nailed on, thinking about transferring him instead of Veltman this game week. Yeah, a few people have mentioned Coleman's name in the world of FPL recently. If I'm honest, I don't think he is. He seemingly hasn't been nailed at all this season. He hasn't been nailed recently. He can play in every other game. If you're expecting him to play both games in the double game week, I think you might be disappointed. And even the game against Sheffield United, there's no guarantee. That might be the game that he misses out on, So, Coleman, as much as his upside is really nice, the rotation risk is just too much for me, and that's why I'm not looking at Coleman. That's me. Maybe you've got different ideas. Mickey McKenna says Jota out for Son. Now, that transfer I actually do quite like. If you can do Jota to Son for no hit, you have the money in the bank already to go straight from Jota to Son, no hit, nothing, then that's a good transfer, I think. Because although Jota you might want long term, well, maybe you wouldn't even want Jota long term. Maybe you don't fancy him full stop. And I personally do want Jota long term. But Son this game week against Sheffield United, that is the one player I kind of wish I had. It's Son. The problem is I don't want to jeopardize the long-term security of my team for one transfer. Long-term, I would probably rather have Jota. But for this game week, you could make up, if Son outscores, and thankfully I can bench Jota anyway, so it's not a real big deal for me, even if I did have the money to do it. But longer term, it might not even matter, because if Son, for example, scores 8 points more than Jota this game week, which could absolutely happen, then suddenly, you can take as many hits as you want to reverse the transfer, do whatever you want. It's all worthwhile anyway. So Son is a player that I really want. Moldy's still saying Jota is a fraud. You can say that as much as you like, Moldy, but I like what I see. Yes, his finishing wasn't great, and I'm sure, Moldy, you're feeling pretty smug after the weekend, because he missed a few chances, did Jota, didn't he? We know that. But you're just jealous. You're just salty left Wolves, man. He's a good player. He's a really good player. You got a good deal. You got a bit of money for him. Just be happy. It's just business. You got Neto now, anyway. He could very easily end up being better than Jota. Moldy's saying, I'm keeping the fraud though, as he could strike hot at any time. Yeah, keep him on fraud watch. Of course, as he's sticking with Mendy, Lord of FPL is Dan. I'm sticking with Mendy just because I don't think it's worth making a transfer for a goalkeeper. Maybe I'll change my. If something drastic happens, maybe I'll change my mind. If Forster I know isn't going to play in game week 36, for example, then I'll be without a goalkeeper in game week 36. In which case, it might actually be worth me making a switch. I'll have to work it out at the time, but I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it. I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about goalkeeper transfers, to be honest. If I was to have a choice on what goalkeeper I'd have now, I probably wouldn't choose Mendy. But he's good for this game week. He's got double game week next game week. After that, who knows? Uzi Automatic says, which pair to bench, Digne and Watkins or Bruno and Jota? Ooh. I would definitely play Bruno. And I would probably play Digne. Bruno and Digne I would probably play and bench Watkins and Jota. But maybe you back the attacker and you go for Bruno and Watkins, for example. But I think Jota is very benchable. I think Digne and both Digne and Watkins are kind of benchable. I don't know. Guys, we've run out of time for quick fire questions. But that's fine. I think there's been so much to talk about today that, you know, we just had a good old stream. So no, I don't think it's time for a quick fire because it's too late. Sorry, maybe I should have kept another time. Sorry, guys. But I will try and answer some questions. Okay, we'll do quick fire, but I'm not going to count it. I'm not going to aim for 100 questions answered. So no one count. But I will do some relatively quick fire answers. So, guys, if you've got any last-minute questions, keep them as short as possible. This or that. Do you like this player or not? Should I captain this player? Keep very, very short questions, and I'll try and answer as many as I can. But I'm not going to do my usual quick fire round today because there's not enough time. Okay, so Vardy or Salah? For long term, probably Salah. Vardy to Kane, yes, I would probably do that. Starting Trent Alexander-Arnold or holding, I would probably start Trent Alexander-Arnold just because he's got a higher upside. And the games like this could end up 0-0 anyway. I don't fully trust Arsenal right now, and that's coming as an Arsenal fan. Captain Iheanacho, I think that is an option. Iheanacho is probably my second favourite captain full stop this game week, to be fair. So maybe. Vardy or Son captain? Oh, that's tough because I don't like Vardy or Son. I like Kane and Iheanacho. If you've got Kane and Iheanacho, then I'd go for one of them instead. Maybe go for Son just because of the fixture. But that's a really difficult one because, you know, neither of those guys have been showing a lot of form, you know. Martinelli or Watkins? Go for Watkins for this game week. Martinelli is probably going to be benched anyway. Strauch or Watkins? Probably Strauch, but again, I don't know if Strauch is going to play or not. I don't know. Maybe he probably does, to be fair. Yeah. Shaw or Jota? Well, I've got Shaw on, so I would go for Shaw over Jota. Start Jota, Gundogan or Trent? I would actually... would I start Gundogan? No, because I think Gundogan's going to get benched. So I would play Trent. Jota or Smith Rowe to start? I think on that one, you go for Jota. Fofana, Trent Alexander-Arnold, sure. Any two. Oh, that is so tough. That's so tough. Flip a coin. I would start Shaw. Oh, but then I would... No, I don't know. I guess you play Trent Alexander-Arnold and Shaw, really, don't you? But, yeah, that's what you do. You start Trent Alexander-Arnold and Shaw and bench Fofana, but not comfortably. You'd want to play all three. You really would, wouldn't you? Holding or Cody? Tough. Maybe Cody, but not comfortably. So a few of you guys are going for wanting Holding or Cody. It's a tough one. I wouldn't be massively confident about either of them keeping a clean sheet. Probably Cody though. Also, David Luiz could be back soon, couldn't he? So Holding might not even play. We played yesterday. Trossard or Smith Rowe? Tough one. They're both not great, are they? That's kind of your bench option, isn't it, really? You'll usually. Maybe go for Smith Rowe because Leeds have improved defensively and Brighton cannot finish anything. They can't finish any of their chances. You know, Brighton's attack is one giant avoid, right? 1 minute deadline. Can I answer any more quick questions? Trent or Jota? Well, I've gone for Trent on my screen, so you can see. Vidra or Cody? I go for Vidra and back the attacker. Holding or Lowton? I'll go for Holding there, I think. Start Johnston or Martinez? I would probably start Martinez. Oh, no, I'd start Johnston, actually. No, I'd start Johnston. That's so tough, though. Not a good goal. Not good at defence. But he gets save points, doesn't he? Go for Sigurdsson or Matthews Pereira? Oh, that's too tough. As a transfer in, well, it's too late. Sorry guys. Yeah, that's the deadline. Sorry I couldn't do a long, big old quick fire, but we answered a few questions today. But there we go, guys. We are locked in. It's done. We're done. We're in. There we go. My team's set. Hopefully your guys' team's set. Hopefully you got in those transfers at the last second there. If you didn't use your transfer this game week, that's fine. I've saved mine. I think it's a good idea to save yours as well, if you can. If you don't hate your team, I think it's okay to save a transfer. I think the banked transfer is going to be very much appreciated. But there you go, guys. Happy deadline day. Happy deadline. We're all done. We're all done. Right, guys. We'll do as we always do. Actually, no, before I say this, if you wouldn't mind liking the video, if you wouldn't mind subscribing if you're new, would massively appreciate that. Honestly, stick around, guys. If you're new around here, you're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it. Stick around. Subscribe. Honestly, I'll do my best to do you justice and make good on that subscription. But anyway, let's ask you guys, who did you captain for Game Week 34? I want you to put in the name of your captain for Game Week 34. Put that in the chat. Press enter. Let's go. Let's see what you got, guys. Let's see what you got. In the meantime, I was going to say I'll check Twitter, but I absolutely will not be checking Twitter. Check my text messages. Has anyone sent me a text message? Oh, they have. I'm popular. Oh, dear. Okay, oh, here come the messages. Here they come. Right, it's Kane. Wow, it's all about Kane. We've got sprinklings of some Son. We've got some sprinklings of a little bit Leicester. See some Iheanachos in there. But man alive, we're all Kane, aren't we, guys? We're all Kane. Wow. Well, I mean, I knew Kane would be the most popular pick this game week, but I thought it would maybe, I don't know, I thought we'd see a few more. You know, Lingard, someone's gone for Lingard there. I thought we might sort of see a few Lingards, a few Iheanachos, a few Vardys, a few more Sons, a few more Woods maybe. A few more of various things, to be honest. But we're all about... Oh, Bale there. Oh, I like that as a differential. I do like Bale as a differential captain. Nice. Guys, we're pretty boring, aren't we? All going for Kane. You're the same as me. We are boring. Going for Kane. Castagna. Oh, I like that. That's differential. I don't fully know if I'd bag Castagna as a differential, but I admire your desire to do something different and try and take the game to your oppositions. I like that. Pereira, that's interesting. Son, yeah, Son I completely understand. But I would be looking at Iheanacho. If not Kane, I would be going for Iheanacho personally. And then Son is maybe third on that list. And then I'm maybe looking at Lingard, maybe Chris Wood if I had him. But yeah, Kane. It's Kane time. It's Kane time. Well, guys, there we are. A couple of people. Oh, triple captains. Oh, that's not real, is it? Yeah, maybe a few of you guys will triple captain Kane. But guys, that is pretty much the end of the stream. The deadline's passed. I'm not going to stay on today because I am maybe going out. I need to work out what I'm doing with my evening. I need to eat. Not eaten at all today, actually. That's not ideal. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the stream, subscribing if you're new around here. Thank you just for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I would usually say I'll see you over on Twitter, but we will not be touching Twitter, Instagram at all this weekend. We'll firmly join in on Boycott, but we'll see you on Monday for I guess a review stream. We'll look back over the weekend and we'll talk about it a little bit. So after the Monday night fixtures, I think it's Burnley against West Ham is the last kickoff on Monday. After that, we'll all come together and sort of talk about the game week. And honestly, I'm going to be buzzing to talk about FPL after this weekend, having not used social media. I really will be buzzing to talk about it. So looking forward to that, guys. I hope you can join me. And aside from that, thank you again for watching. Good luck this game week. I hope you all smash it. I hope Kane does a madness. I hope Iheanacho does a madness. I hope Lingard does a madness. I hope we all smash it, guys. And I will see you on the next one. See you later, mates. Bye-bye.